I'm here to tell you, the devil is a pervert. And no, whenever I say pervert, first thing a lot of people think is, yeah, he twists people's sexuality, right? He looks at little kids with negative intent, right? He looks at women in an adulterous manner, right? Every time he sees a woman, it's adultery, right? He wants to devour us. Every time he sees a man, right? He wants to commit adultery with them. He wants to devour us. But no, the devil is a pervert. And if you keep thinking of a pervert in the sense of sexuality, the devil's gonna devour you. There are a few ways that the devil perverts, right? But the one thing he always makes a goal when he does pervert something is allow a piece of what he perverts to come from the truth of God. So the first thing that he perverts, right, is life. He tells you that for you to really live, you need to be the greatest in whatever you do, right? If you're not the greatest in whatever you're choosing to do, you're worthless. That's what the devil tells you, right? But God will use you no matter what state of life you're in. I've talked to men who say they were in the streets for most of their life, right? But they say it wasn't a time where they wanted to change that God started using them. It was a time where they didn't want to change, where God revealed himself to them and allowed his word to work through them, the word that's written on their hearts. Secondly, right, the devil tells you you're not living if you don't have a big paycheck, right? You're not up to the standard if you don't have a good paycheck to support your family, to support your children, right? You're not good enough if you don't have enough money out here, because money rules everything. If you don't have money, you can't live, right? That's what the devil tells you, right? It's not true. It's perversion, right? God's will is for everyone to flourish, right? To prosper. And the devil doesn't want you to know that. He wants you to think that there's only one way to be prosperous. It's to follow money. What does that pervert? Jesus, who says, follow me. Anyone who comes to me will have life, right? Anyone who comes to me will be free indeed, right? The devil perverts this and tells you that you need to keep on going for that promotion, right? You need to keep on going for the highest paying job, right? It tells you life is not meant for fun. You need to stop having fun. Instead, your purpose in life is to just get the highest position. It's not true. Get money, provide for your family, get your hands dirty, go out and work. But remember, the reason that you work is to worship God, not for the paycheck. You'll worship God in the way that you use your money. You'll worship God in the way that you don't boast whenever you get the high position. Like you'll worship God in the way that whenever you get the bigger paycheck, you give half of it. And people won't understand, why is he giving half of it? He could be going on these vacations that these celebrities and social media influencers go on. Worship God with your paycheck, right? The next thing the devil gets you to do is whatever he says. He says, do what I say do, right? Jesus said, if you love me, you will obey my commands. Those who do not obey my commands do not love me. The devil says, do what I say. And that's how you'll love God, right? Whenever I tell you to do something, yeah, sure. It's enough, right? The devil wants you to do what he says. The devil says, obey me. It's perversion. He always takes a little bit of what God wants and twists it for his own motives. And think about it, how you do what the devil says to do. Just think about it. I've done it too, right? Whenever I think something negative, perversion, right? Sexual immorality, right? I do it. It's like the feeling comes to my heart. I'm just like, follow my own heart. No, Jesus said to deny yourself, right? So I have a little evil in me. And as much as I would love to trust myself and follow my own heart, I need to acknowledge that the evil in me is sometimes aroused. And I want to follow what the evil says to do. And the devil wants you to do what your heart tells you to do, especially when what your heart tells you to do is evil. The way we see fun in life is twisted, right? The way we see fun, going out to parties, twerking on each other, like women twerking on men, right? Men behind females at parties, doing all these different things. Drinking, you have to drink to get excited, drink to get happy, right? Smoking to get excited, smoking to be happy, to find joy in the weed. The devil wants you to do these things. He doesn't want you to go to God for joy. That'll close a door that he's been coming in and out of your entire life. He doesn't want to jeopardize you closing the doors that you have open. His job is not to open doors that you have closed. It's to keep the doors that are open. And if you open a door yourself, he's not going to contest. He's going to walk right through it. Right? Then the devil comes back. Not only does he pervert life, he also perverts death. Let me tell you how. First, the devil wants you to murder. That's direct perversion of what God tells you not to do. Right? In Exodus chapter 20, you're told not to murder. Right? You shall not murder. But the devil wants you to hate people. The devil wants you to destroy your enemy. Of course, he perverts what God wants, to give life, and pushes it into your mind that your goal is to take life away, right? On top of that, it's to kill your body. Suicide, that's one thing. Suicide. That killing your body through suicide is perversion of what God wants for you. Just think about it with me. God says that you need to be born again in John chapter 3, verse 3. Not unless you're born again will you ever see the kingdom of heaven. The devil wants you to think that the way out, the way to a better place, think about it, the way to a better place is by committing suicide. It's perversion, right? Because you have to die in the spirit to get into the kingdom of heaven, right? Die to the sin that you were married to before so that the contract of marriage is over. But the devil says, nah, right? He takes a little bit of the truth and perverts it. You have to kill your body, kill yourself. That's the way out. It's perversion. Do not do that. Don't do that. Don't sign that contract. There's no way out. The only way is through Jesus Christ. You have to go through him. And you have to be born again of the spirit, not of the flesh. You can't go inside your mom's womb again. You cannot go inside your mom and then be born. Like, you can't just restart. No, there is no restart, right? But in the spirit, if you give yourself to God, trust in God, allow his way to come over your life, to reign over you, then you can be born again in that way, right? Not another thing the devil perverts, right? The last thing is telling you you're already dead. You're already dead. Now, this is perversion. God wants to tell you that you're being ruled by the sin in you, right? Jesus says that whoever continues on in sin is a slave to sin, right? What the devil says instead, what he twists that into, is that, you know what, you're as good as dead right now, right? You're not gonna matter in the future. You don't matter. You've never mattered. No one cares about you. That's what the devil tells you. but it's not true, right? Although you were slave to sin, you were saved by grace through faith, right? And the devil wants to pervert your mind to tell you that you don't matter. But God wants to tell you that you do matter. And that's why he came, so that you can understand his love. Man, it speaks for itself. The devil is a pervert. Now, ultimately, what is he trying to pervert, though? What is his goal? Well, his goal is God's will. God's will over your life is for you to honor him and honor one another, right? 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 30 says, for them that honor me, I will honor. Right? God says that if you honor him, he will honor you. It's a relationship, right? God wants this back and forth relationship with you, right? He wants both of you to work. He's not just gonna look at you worshiping me, just sit back in his chair. No, he's gonna do something for you that shows favor in your life. He's gonna do something for you that propels you to the will that he has for you, right? Then to be born again. We were born into sin. We were born into these bodies, into this cursed world, where his ruler is the evil one, right? Our enemies all around. So he wants you to be born again. That's another part of his will, right? Then another part of his will, the last part, is for you to have life, true life. Not what the devil tells you life is, but true life. That's in John chapter 10, verses 27 through 28, right? My sheep hear my voice. They will never perish, right? His sheep will never perish. He doesn't want you to die. Not in the flesh, at least. He wants to prosper you while you're here. You can open doors in heaven that create an atmosphere of heaven on earth. But if you continue in these earthly atmospheres, those doors that you have open will never close by God's grace.